AQRE. Are they any good or are they a shower of shit? In this video, I'm going to talk you through my experience and our community's experience to date, what I've managed to achieve on an account, whether or not I'll get paid, and just give you a bit of context behind our fun and games so far. Also, in the comments below, let us know what your experience to date with AQRE has been so far as well. So, what I was able to achieve on my 250k funded account with AQRE was a profit of $30,563 using the Banker EA in various different ways, which I will touch on shortly. And I made it into the top 10 on their leaderboard. The video for that, by the way, is on my Instagram reels. Top 10, one of the biggest payouts I think that I've seen on there. I think a few people have earned 20 odd grand. It's only 12%, but the money's obviously bigger. Some people are making bigger percentages on smaller capital. So, there's pros and cons to all of that. As you can see here, this account started beginning of March. We can see here that the balance at 280,563 USD. We can see I took a couple of dips. So I had 2 losing days of about 14,000 US dollars. And basically how I made this money using the Bank EA is by using 2 or 3 different master accounts that I've ran for some time and feeding them into this. Quite an aggressive approach. And what I also was exploring, which my members and community know about, is waiting for some of those master accounts to actually get into drawdown and then bulk copying onto my AQRE Fx account whilst delaying what turned on and when to get a better entry in the market to then bank loads of profit on the pullback. It was an awesome concept that we've now coded into our EA properly. Okay, so we're going to call that live delay. A lot of you will remember me sharing on my Instagrams deep blue running profits of 8 to 10 of 12,000 US dollars by using that concept. What that enabled me to do was take these losses and literally recover the day after. Within 48 hours, I'd recovered that loss and had open running profit too. So this is a pretty extreme result really, to make 12% in 1 month without any form of, a couple of daily losses, but recovering as aggressively we did. I think it's important to understand that not to expect that every month. Prop trading's difficult. There's lots of rules to try and navigate. With AQRE, we've got the consistency rule as well, which when you really think about that rule, it's a lot harder than what it might seem to start with. As soon as you take a loss, your stats are all out of kilter. So I had to keep going here to make sure I overcame the consistency breach. There's another point. If I had have stopped and were happy with my 10 grand, which I probably would have done on other prop firms, 10, 15K, then I wouldn't have got paid because of the consistency rule. So I had to keep going to cover my consistency statistics, which is not one trade can be 25% of the total profit that you've made. So if you're a manual trader and you make 5 grand in one trade, you're screwed really, because you're going to need 20 grand and above profit to now get paid that position. And then if you make 5 grand on one and then you hit a loser of 2K, it's totally flawed. It's a totally shit rule. It's a shit rule. And it can really limit traders in their trading strategies. I was able to drive the banker in a way that navigate it by using smaller positions and making sure they were over a minute apart and all of that stuff. Yeah, and by feeding in multiple different strategies at the same time. So what's happening with AQRE? Well, ultimately, I probably won't get paid this. A lot of traders aren't getting paid for numerous reasons. Well, one, they're closing the MT4 deal because they partnered with Prop Trade Tech, and that relationship seems to have gone sour. The only loser of that conversation is the trader. They've bought evaluations, they're going to lose their accounts, and they've put all that work effort into maybe achieving a withdrawal or whatever to then have that account taketh away. Now, I could keep hiding behind these people in this deal, and I don't believe that's true and reasonable. At the end of the day, we as traders have signed up to work with just AQRE, and whatever's going on behind the scenes is for them to try and deal with without saying, hey, it's X person's fault. Now, I know how PTT work. I've explored them before and didn't decide to join them or create something on that basis. They can ultimately control the purse strings and screw your reputation in a very short space of time, because it doesn't really matter to them what they choose and do. Now, where this is really frustrating is Ronis came out from the start and was quite good at communicating, at showing what she was trying to achieve. She was almost probably too nice. And what was clear all the way along was that they allowed HFT. And we've got numerous screenshots over them saying all forms of HFT are allowed. Ronis even joined the POW Discord and validated that our passing service and stuff was okay. We've got all the screenshots everywhere. To then them to come out and say, hey, arbitrage isn't allowed. Well, HFT arbitrage is a form of HFT, and you said all forms of HFT were allowed. Here's all the screenshots of what you've said. They've then backpedaled, and then they've started offering traders either 10% or 25% of their profits and to part company with each other. So if you look at their Trustpilot, there's a load of recent one-star reviews of traders moaning, and rightly so, that hang on, you've not made this clear. You've tripped people up. You've said it was okay and now it's not. And that's not acceptable. And it's literally misrepresentation by openly saying, yes, you can do all forms of HFT, and then saying, actually, no, you use arbitrage. Yes, frustrating. Other firms haven't played this card. And what I expect to happen is to get an email at some point saying I've breached, or I can't have my profit, or here's a deal. So I don't know where we're at right now. I basically put this withdrawal in 10 days ago, and I've not had any other than my withdrawal confirmation. I've had no other email or communication from them on this 30,000 USD. Now, most of the conversations and delays were because of the old platform and the prop trade tech thing. This is the new platform. So you can't keep using that excuse for that long. And obviously traders that aren't going to get profits on their old platforms or have them closed. I know of a lot of traders who are also waiting for profits on the new platform. They've been sunnying it up in Miami at the FX Summit, probably. And at the end of the day, prop firms have three simple parts to that machine. They've got to pay traders, they've got to be clear on rules and offer great support. Well, at the minute, they're not paying traders. 2, they haven't been clear on rules and they've gone back on what they said. And 3, the level of service and speed at stuff is now gone very, very slow. So if you allow HFT, make it clear. Don't say all forms of HFT are allowed and then drop the arbitrage thing later on. Now, yes, it's misrepresentation, but it's actually naivety and a total lack of understanding of what they're talking about. So I think it became clear at a point that Ronis didn't know what HFT was in any way, shape or form, to then not understand the knock-on effect to her business that was too. So let me know in the comments how you've got on so far. And it's always the risk we take with new prop firms, right? And that's why the long-standing FTMOs and MyForex funds are always going to be out top, and they're confident in their approach and they can pay people and everything's rosy and their rules are clear. But when obviously passing can be done as quickly and as easily and everybody's told that it's allowed and it's all okay, then obviously we're going to crack on. And we then haven't done anything wrong. So to then have this issue, a bit like first class Forex fuck-up funds, it just looks like it's another one of them, which was disappointing because we did do a lot of due diligence on Ronis at the start and we researched and we made sure that actually let's make sure this isn't another one of them, and we were quite comfortable with what we found. And then she started to come out and do the YouTubes and the catch-ups and respond to people, and it all looked very, very promising. So as of now, 10 or whatever many days in, I've had no correspondence and I've not been paid. So let's see what happens over the coming days. This video shows what's possible navigating our tool. So let me know in the comments your experience with AQRE Fx to date, and as and when I know what email I get back, if I've been paid or not, then I will do another video.